In this video, I have tested how the weight affects the energy consumption. And from what I have seen before, it seems like the weight doesn't do too much with the consumption. Whereas if you put something like on the roof, like a bicycle or something like I've shown in the previous video, that makes a much bigger impact. So my theory was that the weight will maybe increase the energy consumption by just a few percent, whereas the bicycle, as we did before, it was like 10% or something. Yeah, so I did actually, I was only gonna do 2 tests, but I actually did 4 tests. So on the first test, before I did the test, I charged the car for like 2 hours and also preheated the car for almost that long time also. Yeah, so the heater was running for over an hour, almost 2 hours something, and also the charging was a long time. So that means that the battery was nice and warm. Yeah, and also the cabin was nice and warm, but that actually seems to not have been enough, because on the first test I drove this test route that I usually do, 33 kilometers to one point and then back again to compensate for elevation and wind. On the first test, the car was empty and the consumption was actually 166 watt-hour per kilometer. Okay, on the second test, I loaded a bunch of rice, the sticky rice, lots of them, and also wifey was with me, so the total amount of weight went up by 200 kilos. But surprisingly, on the second test, the energy consumption went down to 163 only. So I still had a theory that even though I started with a warm battery and a warm cabin, the motor was still cold. So during the trips, the motor heated up, and that also made the consumption go down. And on the third test, I still kept the Wi-Fi in the car and also the rice, the rice bags, and that one was 167 watt-hour per kilometer. So you see, the test route has some national variations, and we have stoplights and other cars and stuff like that, so we can't get consistent results. To do that, we have to do the test near Oslo, where I get very, very consistent results, or we have to do on a test track or something. So on the last test number 4, I removed all the bags and I removed Wi-Fi from the car, and that one was 159 watt-hour per kilometer, the lowest one. Yeah, so I mean, I could see a trend where when I started with a cold car, the consumption has gradually gone down, but how much, we don't know, because there are too many variations, too many what do you call it, measurements errors. So I can't really conclude how many percent that extra weight adds, but it is probably so low that you can't measure it. And this also, it's it makes sense, because I have had some heavy loads. I put the car on the scale sometimes and weighed it, and it's been times when the car was I had 400 kilos of weight or something in the car, and I didn't feel any difference in the consumption, almost no difference. Whereas when as soon as I put something on the roof, then the consumption goes up. Yeah, well, but this is the first test. I might do some other tests because I'm not too happy with the results. I want to try, like Mythbusters, you have to eliminate the variables. So I think I will try this again once I get back to Oslo so I can get more consistent test. And also I have kind of learned that even though you start with a warm battery and warm cabin, the motor is still cold. So my theory is that as you drive, actually you have to drive pretty far. You can't just drive for 10 minutes. You have to drive 50 kilometers or something, or more, 100 kilometers, over an hour for the whole motor to be warmed up. Then you get more consistent values, and the consumption is lower. So I guess that's it for now then.